Hi there. Here I'm going to give my first impressions of my new iPhone 13 Pro. Here it is. I got the 256 gigabyte model in Sierra Blue, the new color. I always tend to go for that. Can't actually see the color on it, I'm afraid, here because I've got my leather case on. Now I managed to get this last Friday on the release day. So I've had it for a week now, so I've had a good chance to use it. I'm very impressed. I'm a big fan of the iPhone. I actually am on the upgrade program, so that I do get a new iPhone every year. Now, as far as this phone goes, build quality, well, there's not a lot to say. I mean, it's an iPhone. It looks great. It's beautifully built. There's not, if you own an iPhone, you know that, especially the recent ones. It does have, ceramic shield and is it stainless steel around some whatever. It just looks great, feels great. Now, as far as the size goes, of course, the size, the iPhone 13 and 13 Pro Max are just the same as as the iPhone 12 Pro and probably the iPhone 11 as well. However, the camera on the Pro models, I'm not sure about the iPhone 13, but on the Pro models, the camera module is bigger, which in fact did mean that I had to buy a new case, which I wasn't too pleased about. But I'm willing, it's a reasonable sacrifice given the improved camera. In fact, when it comes to what I particularly like about this new iPhone, the new camera features stand out. I mean, it's the case, isn't it? I think that it's the camera and the camera features which usually contain most of the improvements year on year at the moment. Now, as far as the new camera goes, I say it's a larger camera module. The lenses are larger. They've got better sensors. All three cameras, the lenses, the ultra wide, the wide, and the telephoto have been improved with better low light performance. They've got larger apertures. I think they're using bigger sized pixels on the sensors, and certainly low light performance is very good. But the main thing I think that I found particularly attractive was the new macro photography mode, which has got a lot of people excited. Now, I managed to have a go with this, and here's some pictures that I took the other day when I was outside. So I took some photographs, as you can see, of leaves, close-ups of leaves, or leaves, I should say, get my grammar correct, a flower, and also one here I took of the Apple TV remote that was inside. And as you can see, I think they're quite impressive. I mean, they're not going to be as good as a dedicated macro lens on a DSLR, I don't think. I think that's highly unlikely. But to say you're getting these from a camera, from a phone camera, I think it's quite impressive. And it happens automatically. All you have to do is to put the lens, it's the ultra-wide lens that does it, put the lens up close to the subject. I think you have to get within about 2 centimeters, or around about 2 centimeters, and it will automatically switch into macro mode. And if it's not quite in focus, you can tap and get a decent picture. I had problems outside trying to do a macro of a leaf because there was a bit of wind, it's blowing around. So you certainly need a stationary subject ideally. But I think they're quite impressive. The other features of the camera, which again I think are well worth having, are the new video features. Of course, there's the cinematic mode that Apple calls it, which enables you to change or focus automatically from foreground to background. So I've tried that, not too much, but I had a little play with it, and it does look quite clever and effective. Of course, if you get the if you get at least a 256 gigabyte model or higher, then coming soon will be the ability to shoot 4K video using in ProRes, the Apple's professional codec, rather than the HEVC, which is available, which is the more compressed, of course, codec. And I'm looking forward to seeing how much that improves the video quality. The telephoto lens is now 3 times rather than 2 times, which again I really is very welcome, because I did find the 2 times a little limiting. And as I say, overall the pictures have been great on iPhones for 2 or 3 years now, haven't they? But I think they are still managing to bring about some improvements. The other main thing I like about this new phone is the new display. It has the 120 hertz, maximum 120 hertz refresh rate, what Apple calls, of course, their ProMotion display. Typical Apple jargon. It's been on the iPads or the iPad Pros for a few years, so it's about time they brought it to the iPhone. It's an adaptive refresh rate, so that it will only use 120 hertz when it's necessary, when it needs a fast refresh rate, and will go down as low, I think, as 10 hertz when it doesn't need to do that to save battery. So it's very clever. It has been on other phones, I think, for a while, but it's now on the iPhone, the latest iPhone. The screen also is brighter. I think it's 1,000 nits maximum brightness, and I must admit I have found the screen to be much more usable outside in bright sunshine. And in fact, I think that the display looks better to me than on my iPhone 12 Pro. I'm sure there probably isn't much of a difference, but it just seems brighter. The whites seem whiter. I just really like the display. I think it's really superb. So those are things that I like. What do I don't like? Well, there's hardly anything, as you'd probably expect. I'm a big fan of iPhones. I've had one now since, was it the 3GS, the first one I had? The question, I suppose, remaining is, should you upgrade? I say I upgrade automatically because I'm on the upgrade program, and I still feel that the improvements they make to the camera and so on are worth staying on that. It should I feel that the improvements are no longer good enough, then I'll stop. But should you upgrade if you're not on the program, if you've currently got an iPhone 12 or iPhone 12 Pro? Well, the improvements are incremental, there's no doubt about that. The camera has improved, but it's great on the iPhone 12 Pro anyway. I was never unhappy with the pictures I took on that. So it'd be, if you have an iPhone 12 Pro, then you have to decide, is it worth? You can probably, the trading prices that Apple offers these days, particularly on the recent, on the last models, are pretty good. So you can actually get a good trade in and not necessarily have to pay a lot extra to get the new phone. If you're below an iPhone 12, let's say iPhone 11, again, that was a very good camera, a very good phone. Obviously, there are 2 increments from that to the 13 from the 11, which you might think justifies getting a new upgrading. Certainly, I would say if you're on a 10 or below, then the improvements are quite highly significant. And if you're thinking of upgrading from a 10 or an 8, or even certainly like a 6S, then you're going to notice some massive improvements in terms of speed, in terms of display, in terms of the camera. It's well worth upgrading from something like that.